Souvenirs about, from my experience, from the public security management in Senegal. It was around the years to 1999 to 2000, sometimes like that, 1997 to 2000. So the first experience, of course, was about the role I played during a crisis, I can call it crisis, from criminal activities that took advantage from, trying to rule the government and taking advantage of the people through violence and robberies. And it was a big problem that was addressed by the President of the Republic. It was a very important role, and I had two deputies. One was called Lieutenant Daoud Diop, and another one was called Lieutenant Bokande. They are both generals today, big people, very great, intelligent. So we had a great team, and we addressed that crisis. And the Senegalese or West African people can remember the two names that characterize this crisis. The two names, one was Ino and Alex. So this was in the years to 1998. And I think it was a great success, which probably has contributed to raise our profile. The second thing I can remember also from the public sector during the time I was a manager in the public security was the time my salary was $800, and someone tried to bribe me with 60 to 70, 80,000 US dollar, and I refused. I don't think it's easy for someone to have that salary and you refuse. And I refused, of course, and I prevented my boss also to be corrupted, to be bribed. The story is long, but it's more, sometimes some people with some political profile, they want to take advantage on law, which I refused. And I realized later, because of the pressure that was put on me at that time, that down the line, there are other people with also who were occupying, certain positions, and they were corrupted, with big money. So it was a quite a difficult situation. And then it created a kind of another crisis, within the judicials. And there was some rioting. And then finally, the matter landed on the desk of the president. And I think that situation contributed, to give me success. And I was quite victorious. And from that time now, I was exported to the international. I remember the day that I helped some people without any interest. And they buy, the use of Mbao, people will remember, it's a town in Senegal. And they offered me 30 pieces of land, which I did not deem necessary to use it for myself. And I distributed to 30 gendarmes. So in that location, 30 gendarmes may have their house or their home there because of that land that was offered to them. This is from the Senegalese context. And now from the international context, of course, to hostage taking, I was part of it. In Somalia and in Pakistan, 2007, 2009, which was quite interesting, but I cannot talk more about it. But most importantly, when I was in Liberia during the end of the war, Charles Taylor, the president, left for Liberia. He was taken to Nigeria. It was the year 2003, 2004. While peace was being brought in Monrovia, the people were still fighting in the Nimba County around Saclay-Pierre, between the model groups and the pro-government groups. And the front line prevented, like humanitarians, to help 5,000 refugees who stranded around the border of Côte d'Ivoire. I was in Saclay-Pierre at some point, and I saw people fighting, and I try to use my instinct. Of course, I spoke to my boss, and of course, no one can tell me just take the risk and go. But I took the risk and responsibility, knowing that if I fail, the consequence will be huge. But I believed that I could succeed something, and I succeeded something by using some opportunities. We crossed the front line, and at the end of the day, as a result, the front line was dismantled, And the model groups, their fighters and the government got together in the town of Saclipier. At the time, the mayor was called Mary Sankorle. I mentioned her name because she's still alive and she can tell the same story, because after it was dismantled, civilians, refugees were transported to Saclipier and were assisted by the mayor first and the humanitarian and the peacekeeping organization. At the time, the first commander was a Kenyan. I think it was General Opande. So he was a very nice general. I spoke to him on the phone, and I think, at the end of the day, there was a good result. I always remember that. I think, I cannot tell more than, because there are so many issues that I can tell, but let me make it short and I stop it there.